Hey there, welcome to the All Things podcast. Welcome to the All Things podcast, a radio program that is designed to educate, inform, and impact teenagers, their parents, and their teachers in every way. My name is Akintunde. Listen, I'm so glad that you're here, and always so glad that you're here. On this podcast, we'll talk about hot button topics that are important to you, hopefully, and they should be important to you. We also bring engaging guests with compelling stories which will challenge you, encourage you, inform you, and the people in your life in a tremendous way. This is a great show, and we're going to have a great time. In that case, let's get the party started. Hello, All Things family. Welcome to today's episode, the final episode of year 2021, and I'm so excited, to be part of you, even as we jointly celebrate Christmas and New Year and the advancement of greater things in our lives. First, let me inform you that All Things podcast will be 1 year old on the 25th of December, which means that the first episode of the podcast was released 25th of December 2020, and that means we would be celebrating a year together. So thank you for your listenership. Thank you for inviting your friends. Thank you for inviting your family to listen and join you. We want to thank all our contributors, all our guests, and every one who has particularly contributed to the growth of this podcast, either through your comments, your reviews, your encouragements, and every other medium that you've really supported us. We are very grateful, and we look forward to celebrating more of this in subsequent years. Also, I would love to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I believe right about now you're already celebrating, enjoying chicken and turkey, fried rice, going out, having fun, right? And if you don't have the wherewithal, if you don't have the resources to celebrate it in your own little way, being alive is enough reason, to be grateful to God, right? So I want to congratulate you for making it to this time of the year. Today we actually want to, in the spirit of Christmas, we do not want to lose focus of the fact that we are entering into a new year, which is year 2022, and whether this year has been very ugly, rough, or very intriguing, very exciting for you, what I can assure you is that 2022 holds much better promises for you if you prepare, if you plan, and if you have your mind set at positive things, right? So to start off, I want to actually tell us that 2022 is going to be a great year for every one of us, but for that to happen also we need to plan, and that's why today's episode will be based on the topic titled goal setting and planning, right? Goal setting and planning. And this is perhaps maybe one of the things we do every year at the beginning of the year, or maybe late in the year. People call it New Year resolution. My New Year resolution is I'm going to read my Bible, or I'm going to have a first class, or have the best results this in this term and all that. But the truth of the matter is we actually need to properly plan, properly strategize, so that we can get all the benefits and achieve all our goals, right? And that's what I'll be walking you through in this episode. So to start off, it's 2022 is actually presents us with a clean slate. In other words, everybody has a blank check, to write what you want to achieve and to work hard to make sure you achieve it, right? So I would then like to start off with what is goal setting and why is it important. So goal setting is actually a deliberate development of an action plan to motivate a person towards the achievement of a goal. What does that mean? It simply means goal setting is actually an intentional effort, right, that is done by an individual to ensure that they take very practical steps towards achieving a set goal or a set target. So I give you an example. You want to let's say you, as a student, you want to make sure that you finish as the best student in your class in the year 2022, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to set goals, right? And that's your goal, to finish as the best student. How will you achieve it? And you are very intentional about it. You discipline yourself. You make sure that all the necessary things you ought to do, like reading, studying, revising past questions, practicing questions, and many other things like that, going for group debates or group discussions. These are things that you want to take into cognizance, right? So this is simply the meaning of goal setting. Then you may want to ask, why is this important, right? Number one, goals actually push us forward. When you have goals, you are able to follow a particular path, right? Your goal is a particular destination you are going through, and so you are able to follow through the journey, right? So for example, some of us, our goal for this year is to make more money, and some people want to become millionaires by the end of this year. So they have to journey through a path from 0 naira to becoming a millionaire, and that's through that they get to push forward. Another reason why you need to set goals is that it helps you to understand what your aim is. So for example, if you don't set any aim, if you don't have any goal, right, you end up shooting at everything. So for example, if I'll give you an instance, which is that if you are a student, right, if you never set out to be the best student or even be like an average student, right, anything could happen, because now there's nothing that will motivate you, there's nothing that can inspire you, and you don't have anything that drives you, right? So one of the importance of having a goal is actually that it helps us to know what we are aiming at, right? It gives us a focus. Another thing is that goals actually keep you accountable. So if you have a goal, right, you are able to account for whether you are making progress on that goal, account for whether you are actually achieving the goal or not. If you don't have a goal, there's nothing you can account for. You're just simply living life, right? You're just living life the way it comes. So that's not something we want to do as young people, right? So it's very difficult, very hard to admit failure or even think of success if we do not set goals and we do not have any methods to achieve them, right? So another reason why goal setting is important is that it serves as a measuring stick for your success, right? So if you set goals, you're able to measure, okay, having said that I'm going to be the best student, then I think based on this parameter, I think I've done well. I said I was going to be the first in my class. Okay, I finished with the second position. Not bad. You can evaluate, right? You can measure whether you've done well or not. Goals also help you to set your priorities, right? So in a world where there are so many of information being thrown at you, there are so many distractions, one of the things we really want to be very particular about is understanding our priorities, understanding what is important, understanding what is urgent, understanding what is urgent but not important, understanding what is urgent and important, right? So having a goal or having a set goal really helps you to understand what you should prioritize, what you should put more attention to while sacrificing the others. Do you understand what I'm saying? Another thing is that goals actually help you to track your progress. So I've said it before that it serves as a measuring stick. So it also helps you to track your progress. So by so doing, you can actually reevaluate if maybe the ways, the manner, or the strategies you are using to achieve your goals, if they are effective or if you need to change them, right? So another point to note is that goals give you morale, right? So you see, in a team, for example, let me use football. So if there's a Champions League match, right, and the Champions League match is, let's say, between Arsenal and Barcelona, and I think this happened even in 2006, either 2006 or 2011, right? There was a final match. I think it's a final match between Arsenal and Barcelona, and the goal was for each of the teams to win the Champions League. That was the goal. So they did not need extra morale. They had the morale already, which was that, okay, if they win, there was a particular amount of money which was, very huge, that was going to be awarded to the winner. And they also go with the trophy, which is a honor on its own and gives a lot of prestige, right? So that was enough morale for the team. So when you set goals, it actually gives you morale. It actually gives you the right motivation to achieve what you want to achieve. Let's quickly talk about my goal setting template, right? So the question you need to first ask yourself before you write down your goals is that, what is the big picture? What do I want to achieve? What is my theme for year 2022? What is my primary outcome that I want to get, that I know that, like, this is what will make me happy, this is what will make me fulfilled, right? Some of you have to really pray so that you can find out what your purpose is, and you can know how to align your goals that you'll be writing in alignment with that, right? But that's something you need to find out. What is your big picture? Some people call it vision, some people call it the big picture. Do we understand? Your goals have to be smart. Your goals have to be smart, and smart goals simply means specific. Your goals have to be specific. Your goals have to be measurable. Your goals have to be attainable. It has to be relevant, and it has to be time bound. What does that mean? So specific simply means that, okay, your goals are specific, like it is. They have to be very precise. They have to be exact. I'm just going to be anything I want to be. No, that's not a goal. If you want to be a footballer, say you want to become a footballer, right? If you want to be a digital marketer, say I want to become a digital marketer, right? So that's something. It has to be measurable. You must be able to measure it. Like we said, one of the advantages of having a goal is that you're able to track your progress. So having a goal, one of the metrics that you can use to know if this goal is a valid goal or if it is well written is that it is measurable. Another thing is that your goals must be attainable. They must be attainable. What does that mean? It means that it must be something that you can work towards. It must be something that is achievable. Do you understand? Then it must be relevant. It must be something that it's not just a wishy-washy goal. Right, something that is rewarding, is something that is relevant, right? And another thing is that it is time bound. You can place a particular time, place it on a timeline. You can track the progress and say that within January to March, how much have I saved as a student? Within February to April, how did I do in my academics, right? So these are things that really help you, when writing your goals, right? So I would like you to actually write out every area of your life that you want to set your goals, on. So for example, let me list a couple of things that might be helpful to you when you're writing out your goals. One of the things you want to set goals about is your career, right? If you're already having clarity about what career you want to major in, right? Whether you want to be a data scientist, you want to be a lawyer, a nurse, a medical expert, you can write your goals in that direction. Finances are also very important, right? So if you're a secondary school student, you may not be earning so much, right? For some of you, you can already take a side job, like helping your colleagues at school to do the assignments, or to do research, or to even maybe like help people with their house chores, and you earn some stipends, right? Which is great. So you can plan around that, right? To save money. That's a financial goal, right? So you need to have that as a young person. And if you're already working, that's also very important. Calculate how much do you want to save during the year, what investments are you making during the year 22, how much would you be spending, right, on different things, transport and all these things. These are financial stuffs, right? Education, for those of you in school, if you're in university, you want to set goals concerning what do you want 2022 to look like for you. Do you want to repeat the same result? Do you want to have the same kind of result you had in year 2021, or you want to do better? So write it out. What do you want to have? If you want to have a CGPA for those in university of 5.0, great. You write it down, and you follow it by how you are going to achieve it, right? Reading for, let's say, 6 hours, having group discussions with your colleague, making sure that you study past questions and you practice them, right? So these are stuffs. If you are in secondary school, the same model also applies to you. You need to get past questions. You need to set this thing. Okay, you want to be first position in your class, you want to be the best in your WAEC by having 9 A's or 8 A's, as the case may be. So these are stuff you should consider. Another thing is your health, right? Health is also very crucial. You can't do much if you are not healthy. So you want to ensure that you plan for your health too. How will you be eating? How often will you be eating? What kind of foods will you be eating? Do you intend to take fruits every week or every day? Do you intend to have good sleep? How many hours do you want to be sleeping each day? Right? So these are questions you need to consider, because a good sleep is very important. Healthy eating habit is also very important in having a very good, healthy life. So if you're a Christian, part of the things you want to plan for, when you want to set goals on, is your spiritual life, and that is very crucial. You need to ask yourself, do you intend to complete reading the Bible for the year? How often do you want to grow? How many hours do you want to be praying for every day or every week to help you grow? Right, so that's also a consideration. Another thing to look into is volunteering, right? Volunteering or social impact, right? So volunteering is actually we positioning ourselves to support other people in the projects they are doing, and it's often called community service, right? So part of the things you can plan for is maybe work with an NGO if you are passionate about different causes. For example, I have some of my friends who are passionate about environmental cleanliness, right? So you can work with a couple of people to ensure that like your environment is clean. You can engage in plugging. I once did a recording on this podcast, where I invited Mr. Mayoko Yamolere to talk about climate change and plugging. And he has founded Plugging in Nigeria, Plugging Club in Nigeria. So that's also something that can be established in your own local environment. You volunteer for different causes. For some of you, it might just be you want to teach people certain skills you already have, just a way of giving back to the society. So that's also something you can plan for. Another thing is business. If you have a business, you need to plan for your business. How much profit do you want to make? How do you intend to acquire customers in this 2022 and make sure that your product blossoms? How do you want to sell your products? What kind of products are you going to be selling in 2022? You need to consider your social life and relationships with friends, with family. So these are things you want to consider. You need to examine, evaluate. Who are the friends who were like firelighters in your life in 2021. That's people who have positively impacted you. Now, it doesn't mean that these people are always telling you you are the best, you are the best. No, there are some people who actually criticize you. They tell you the truth, and truth tellers are very scarce. So if you have people who tell you the truth, people who care for you, people who are very passionate about your goals, your dreams, people who support you, those are firelighters. See, if you have people who are constantly always giving you high blood pressure, giving you headache, they make you feel like you are not good enough, right? Those are not people you should. They are firefighters, and they are not people you should have as friends or build relationships with in 2022. And those terms, firelighters, firefighters, they were terms I learned from, DDK, Debola, Deji Kuromi. Yeah, basically, I think those are areas you want to consider. If you have a ministry like my podcast here, right here, the All Things Then podcast is actually a ministry to me. So it's something that I have plans for, right? I already documented my plans for it along with my team, and that's something that if you have a ministry to, you need to really plan for it. When you have when you have identified these areas you need to set goals on, then you need to write out the big goal, the big picture for each of the areas. I'll give you an example. If concerning your health life, what you want to do is you want to lose weight, right? For some people who feel like, okay, they are very obese, or they have a lot of weight gain during 2021. One of their goals might be to lose weight in 2022. So to lose weight, you want to write it clearly. I want to develop a good body shape in 2022. Write your goal in such a way that it is positive. Right? Don't say that I'm going to lose the shameless weight that I've been carrying. No, that's not a good way to write your goals. So you want to write it in a positive way. Have a good body shape, have a good physique, right? So and you write that down. Now I need to mention that your goals have to be written down, right? And that is because when you don't write your goals down, they become a mirage. They become something that it's no longer consistent, and it's no longer consistent because you can't see it, right? But when you write them down and you constantly look at them every morning, or as many times as possible, each time you look at it, each time there's a motivation, each time there's a morale, to want to achieve your goal. So write your goal down. So if you actually look at the book of Habakkuk in the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain, so that anybody that sees it will run with it. Habakkuk 2:1, right? So, and that is very beautiful because it tells us how important writing down our goals are. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is a very important consideration. Okay, so a few other things that you must put at the back of your mind is try as much as possible to set low-level goals. And what do I mean by that? Low-level goals are simply, okay, we've written the big goal. Now, I gave an instance of somebody whose goal is to have a good body shape or good body physique in year 2022. So, you don't just say you have a good body shape. A good body shape wouldn't just jump on you. You can't just have six-pack by saying you are going to have six-packs, right? So you need to write down, intentional things you'll be doing. For example, I'm going to cut down on the cholesterol things I'm digesting, right? So if you're taking a lot of fatty contents, if you're taking a lot of things that are not vitamin related, or things that are not protein related, or things that they might by taking them they are affecting your body system. Or if you're even going through a lot of stress, you need to specifically write it down. I'm going to make sure I catch at least 6 hours sleep each day. So these are specific. You have to write low level goals. So after writing the big picture, rather, you need to write down your low level goals, and make sure your goals that you're writing down, they are things that you can achieve, right? They are realistic, right? So I have had situations where I wrote overly ambitious goals, and at the end of everything, I just panic, right? And that's because I didn't set things that were realistic. So you need to write, for example, if you want to have a good body physique, that's a realistic goal. It just depends on how you write it down and how you structure your mini goals or your low level goals, right? So if you say you want to have a good body physique, what do you want to be doing? What kind of foods do you want to eat? How often should you sleep? And all these other things like that. So make sure you set realistic goals. Don't just say that I want to be like Dangote. That's unrealistic, because Dangote is still flying, right? I read that Dangote recently released new set of cars in his assembly plant. You don't have an assembly plant, you don't have even maybe a factory where you are producing stuff, so you might not become Dangote. Yeah, maybe it might be a lifetime goal, right? And I need to mention that we have different types of goals. Again, we have lifetime goals, we have monthly goals, we have weekly goals, daily goals, and all this other stuff. But just make sure that your goals are realistic. And lastly, let me just say that you need to have a good support system, right? When you plan the year, make sure that you also make plans for the support system you'll be having. And why is that important? That is important because you cannot achieve your goals alone. You need discipline, right? You need people who hold you accountable. You need people who would motivate you and encourage you to ensure that you actually are doing the work that will bring this big result. Do you understand? And one more thing, make sure that like for every little victory or every little success that you have, you celebrate it. And that is called a rewarding system. So make sure that for each time you set a goal and each time you achieve that goal, cross it out and celebrate it. It might just be a way of maybe like taking yourself to an eatery or a restaurant, and you just have something nice for yourself, or you buy yourself a gift. Just do good to yourself, right? It really increases your motivation to do better and to work on other goals. And that's where we'll be drawing the curtain for today's episode of the All Things Then podcast. Thank you for listening. This is the final episode for the year. You can drop comments on how this podcast has really helped you in year 2021, and we really love to read them. Once again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. And congratulations to every listener of the All Things Then podcast as we celebrate 1 year birthday. Right. So have fun, enjoy. Take care. Bye.
That was a great session. Thank you for listening. If this has impacted you in any way, I'm asking you to do a couple of things. The first thing is that you subscribe. Subscribe to this podcast so you can receive notifications when new episodes come up every weekend. Gather your friends, your family, and be a part of this ministry. You can subscribe on Google Podcasts, Anchor, Podbean, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Breaker, and any other platform. The second thing I will ask you to do is to share. Share this with your friends, with your parents, your teachers, students, and people around you who may find this helpful. This just might be the answer to their prayers. The third thing is that you leave your comments in the comment section, as this provides us with feedbacks on how helpful this program has been to you. If you have any questions, topics you would like us to address, or guests you would like us to bring, please send an email to allthingsthinpodcast@gmail.com, and we will be sure to get back to you. I want you to know that we love you and the best days are ahead of you. See you next week.